that's always the key, is you always want to stop the run first. But more or less, seeing what they're doing, how they're going to attack you, and formulating your game plan and centered around that. That's been a big emphasis for us the past few weeks.
Where have you specifically seen improvement? You guys have also obviously put more pressure on the quarterbacks too. Where have you kind of seen the biggest strides?
I think just overall execution. That's been the biggest thing. It hasn't been a schematic thing. It hasn't been a personnel thing. It's been more about execution, and we've emphasized with the guys taking the next step, and we can't play for you. I think at the end of the day, it's all about execution. That's what they've been doing a really nice job with over these past few weeks.
How has Jayon's role changed or modified itself going at this point in this season versus this point in last season?
It's night and day. With him, now he's a leader, a captain, whereas last year at this time, he was just breaking into the lineup. I think Miles went down maybe game 3 or 4, I believe, and Jayon was more still transitioning from a backup role to a frontline role. It's 180 this year. He has complete control, complete command of the defense and of the other guys on the team in terms of getting guys lined up and quarterbacking the thing from a linebacker standpoint. So I think it's really night and day for him.
What have you thought about his play just in general? It seems like he's just flying around everywhere.
Yeah, he's been fantastic. He's just elevated. His game. That's the biggest thing. It's just for him to continue to take the next step and we talk about reaching higher. Just keep reaching higher, never be satisfied, and he's continued to do that. And I look forward to him having another big game this week.
What have you thought of Kenny, particularly in blitz packages? It seems like he's been getting it in the backfield.
Yeah, he's been doing a great job. Kenny's made a huge improvement over the offseason. Trevor Watt's done a great job with him just with the mental approach. Kenny's issue's never been physical. He owns the defense more than ever. He understands what's going on around him. And I think that's really the uniqueness of the linebacker position. You got to know what's going on in front of you, to your left, to your right, and behind you as well. And he knows that now at an all-time high. That's why you're seeing him play a lot faster and be more decisive and be more of a playmaker. He's playing his ass off. He's playing his best football since he's been here.
There are times when Isako takes over that middle spot.
Mm-hmm.
How is that pushing him?
I think that always is going to help guys. Anytime that you have competition, you have somebody breathing down your neck behind you, it's going to force you to be, assertive and be on your job every day. And Isaac's like another starter for us. He's a guy that's very salty, a guy that's played a lot of football for us, and a guy we count on to get in there and be a guy for us to run the defense and control things and quarterback the defense. So Isaac's a guy that you can put him in first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, doesn't matter. He'll be in there ready to play.
You mentioned Trevor working with Kenny. Kenny seems like a very fiery, emotional kind of guy. How important is a guy like Trevor helping Kenny in this season?
just with the mental approach more so than anything, and being focused on what the task at hand is, because there's sometimes where he had a lot going on in his personal life last year where it would carry over into the football realm, and it just wasn't always focused, and that's why I don't think he was able to grasp the concepts, and control and own the defense like he has been this year. So I think that's been the biggest thing, just the mental approach and how when he walks on the grass, where his mind is at.
We spent a lot of the offseason talking about Kenny. What have you seen from him so far now that the season started?
He's been a monster on special teams for us. He was a special teams player of the game, I believe, in week 3. So he's been lights out on special teams, and he's a guy that's getting a lot of valuable reps. He knows the defense. He's a guy that we can put into the game, right now at the Mike position, and we wouldn't have any drop off.
What have you thought about the special teams performance overall?
I think it's been good. I think our coverage phases have been good. We're a little bit inconsistent in the return phases. We've got to really get that going. We've got to get our punt return game really going. We haven't had a ton of success. We put the ball on the ground a couple times, but we've got some things to shore that up. But overall, I've been pleased with it, especially with 3 young freshman specialists. They've been pretty consistent. Our coverage phases have been really strong. We've got to get more consistency in our return phases.
Has there been any thought as to someone else handling punt returns after Ish has had some trouble?
Yeah, we always are mixing the guys up as you see out here at practice. So we're always looking for, who's going to be the most trustworthy. This is something we talk about is ball security. That's first and foremost in making great decisions back there. Not always are we looking for a huge return, more so than anything, protecting our yards and controlling the football, protecting the football.
And then back to Kenny Young's play. Has it been, it seems from an outsider's perspective like he's more comfortable with what he's doing throughout this season. Is that true, or has he also been freed up to do different things?
No, it's just more comfortable, more confident in what he's doing. And and that another thing too, he's playing one position. Last year with the injuries and all the different guys going in and out, it was musical chairs at linebacker. It was really hard on those guys. So we've taken some of that off of his plate, kept him at one position, and he's really flourished this year. He's playing his best football since he's been here. There's no question.
Mike had said he hoped to come back to practice with you guys. Is there a plan there?
Yeah, there's a plan in place. He's in class. He's going to meet with Coach Moore, I believe, later this week, and then the contents of that meeting, I think that would be a better question for Coach Moore, but definitely there's a plan in place.
Is that encouraging given, where he was? It sounds like he's making some progress.
Yeah, I mean, the plan hasn't changed at all. I mean, the plan is always for him to be back with us. That was never, ever part of it where he was going to walk away or go somewhere else or do anything like that. He's always been with us. He's always been in contact with us throughout the entire process over the past, what has it been, 7 weeks or so. So at the end of the day, this thing is bigger than football. I mean, we're talking about a young man here, and we want to make sure he's okay as a person first, more so than Mike, the football player. So that was our biggest concern as a coaching staff. Isn't necessarily the football. I told him, I'll take care of the football part for you. Just make sure you're okay and you're happy and your heart and your mind is in the right place. That was our biggest concern.